Well, here we are. It's a very special episode, guys. Welcome to Not Fazed With Faye. And yes, I am in my wedding dress. You're welcome. Basically, I really wanted to do an extra special one-off solo with me, your host, Faye Brookes. I've just celebrated my first year anniversary married to Mr. Iwan Lewis, and it's been dreamy. And we had a very, very beautiful weekend celebrating, and I had this idea to put the dress on and basically just give you the rundown to the day, how I found the dress, how I was feeling, all of the emotions, all of the sort of like the journey to becoming Mrs. Lewis. And I've only been sat here for 2 minutes and already Bo is just finding so much comfort in snuggling in mum's dress. Just think it's super cute. So honestly, I think Pinterest was my best friend in the build up to the wedding day. So any of you who don't have Pinterest app, like I just go and download it. And honestly, it's great for everything. I use it for like cooking recipes. I use it for like fashion inspiration for my everyday outfits. Oh, don't fall, baby boy. There we go. And so I put together a Mrs. Lewis Pinterest board to help me kind of, or even guide me and help give the vision to said people who will help organize the day. I also let Iwan know that this is kind of like where I imagined like the whole thing would be and what it would look like, and the dreamy kind of outdoor but indoor kind of had like Tuscany vibes, because we weren't going to go abroad. It's just way too expensive. I couldn't imagine getting that many people, all of our nearest and dearest, to travel to Italy and spend all that money on accommodation and flights, and then to just have one day with us all and fly back. Because I was like, nah, we'll scrap that. We'll just bring Tuscany to us. And I loved this idea of sort of the Hollywood glam. You know, she's just a sucker for a dress. And I didn't know where to begin with what I wanted. I was so overwhelmed. And any advice, woman to woman, getting married, it's such a personal choice. And I just knew I wanted to be comfy because, let's face it, I get to play dress up for a living. I'm on stage in multiple outfits sometimes. And if it's just one, great. They design it to you. It's, you know, it's fitted to you to make you feel at ease while you're playing these characters. And I kind of felt like I wasn't going to be playing a character that day. I was going to be me, but I got to be like truly myself and put a little bit of sparkle into it, because why not? Like, of course I've got glitter in my dress. I'm Faye Brookes. I obviously was very lucky to have a circle of people around me, i.e. friends, family, that could guide me along the way. One of them, I'm very, very lucky to have a friend that owns a bridal shop. Like, that's just, I lucked out with her. So Sean owns Tilly Trotter's Bride, which is in Leamington Spa, and it's the cutest bridal shower, like bridal boutique shop you could ever imagine. Everything in it is just definitely handpicked by Sean, and she has this sort of like way of working. She wants you to bring your friends, or she wants you to bring loved ones, and she will close the shop. She will have it so like bespoke to you and make it really private and make you feel like you really are having that special moment of finding your dress. So I'm just going to backtrack a little bit. I met Sean through social media. Yes, thank you very much, Instagram again. And we hit it off. I just think she is one in a million. Very, very funny. She has my sense of humor, which is slightly dry, but also a bit silly. And just honestly, she was amazing with me. And she wasn't taking her time with it. She was just like, hit the ground running. Let's not mess around here. This is your wedding day. Like, she knew how serious I was about it, but also she knew that I wanted to make it really special, really personal. And she said, come to the shop. But Ewan and I obviously got engaged on New Year's Eve. And I knew that I was going to be going away on tour. So we were like, shall we have an engagement party? Like last minute, just throw something together, grab our nearest and dearest, and let's just celebrate us in the Cotswolds. And we actually had it at Ingleside House Hotel, which is next door to the Barn Theatre. Cute little like boutique hotel, stunning. And I asked Sean to come, and she was like, well, perfect, because the next day is when you've organised to bring your sisters and your mum and your bridesmaids to the shop and do a fitting. And I went, this is just dreamy. Everyone's going to be there with me. We'll all travel together and ... Cut to the morning after. And I wouldn't say I was hungover. I would just say I was a little fragile. Let's just say that. And then we get to the shop. I'm very calm. I'm very put together. I've made an effort. This is like the wedding dress. I've got to find my wedding dress. So obviously I'm thinking, let's post about it. Let's share this with everybody. And let's get my sister to take pictures, who's my maid of honor. And mum was grabbing like headbands from the accessories table. And they were putting necklaces and beads on Bao and Bear, and everyone was having a good time. The bottle was open. Everyone's having a little glass of fizz. I wasn't quite ready for fizz, but I was excited to try on dresses. So we go through about 10, and already I'm like, this is hard. This is hard because you don't know what's right. And I do think that once it's on, you have like a feeling. And I went through different styles. We even tried on this like full-on lace dress that like came right up here on my neck and was full sleeved and just, you know, fitting my figure all the way down to my ankle. And I was like, oh, this is intense. And I kind of liked it. I liked every single dress, but did I love them? This is the hard conversation that I had to have with myself. And then throw in the mix of, I really respect my mum and her opinion. And I really love my sisters, but they have sometimes very much clashing opinions. And then put in my bridesmaids, and I was like, oh, this isn't helpful. So it came to this final dress. Anyway, it's beautiful. It's actually very similar to this, but it didn't have this sort of like bardeau off the sleeve. Look at me with the lingo, like I know what I'm talking about. I learned a few things along the way. Let's just say that. But this dress was different because it had sort of like a floral pattern within the lace itself, and there was loads of different layers, which I really loved, obviously, because it's just like a cupcake. Hey. Put this dress on. And at this point, I'm a little bit tired and I think I'm flagging. And I can't remember if I've even eaten because it's been hectic that morning. And I just remember looking at Sean, and I know that the colour drained from my face. There's like 3 mirrors facing me as I'm trying on this dress. And I was like, I'm going to be sick. And I still had the dress on, and I didn't know if I was going to make it, if I was to go and take the dress off and get into my normal clothes. So Sean was like, bathroom's that way. And I legged it. I took the dress that I was wearing. FYI, was not this dress, but I thought it was the dress. We'd all had like a moment. I was like, I think this is the one. And I ran to the bathroom. And there I am on my knees, and my head is in the toilet, and I can't stop. I honestly, it was not ladylike at all. It was a moment. And of course, my lot are there all taking pictures of it, videoing it, like howling. They're in hysterics over my dilemma, which is I'm probably hungover, or I'm probably feeling a little bit worse for wear. I'm tired. I'm emotional. It's a lot. Guys, it is a lot. And so I was just processing. We laughed it off. I said, maybe this is the one, just because I had a moment in it. And then, anyway, I don't think you're meant to be sick in your wedding dress before you've even made it to the wedding day. So I think I've made a decision, and then I go away and I have a few weeks to think about it. And by this point, schedules are getting busy and I'm off rehearsing and I'm here, there and everywhere, because at the time I was doing Strictly Ballroom. And I don't know if any of you guys knew this, but the tour was already set up. Like, they were off, and it's weekly venues. So my rehearsals are then with the cast, which is the likes of Kevin Clifton, who was a guest on the show, first episode. Thank you, Kevin. And I then had to follow the show around to keep up with them and also learn the show at the same time. So I'd be watching the show in Canterbury, and then I would be rehearsing with them in Hull. And then I was basically just touring with them before I was even on the tour. I got to know some of the cast, and I got to sort of tell them my plans. You know, I'm planning a wedding. I'm trying to find my dress. And bless Iwan, he just was a boss. Like, any ideas, any thoughts, any sort of plans that I already had in my head of this day, because I've been dreaming about this day since I was a little girl, and I wanted to get it right. I've said I will only get married once, and that's it. And we've done it. And I had so many dreams about that day, and he just pulled every single one, like out of a hat, like as if by magic. Down to the vision of the marquee and what I had inside, and so many flowers, so much greenery. It just looked like a fairy tale. It was exactly what I wanted. And be careful what you wish for, because honestly, I was blown away. I was speechless when we actually got to see the marquee. And what was amazing about the whole process as well is everyone was so hands-on. Like, everyone was so committed and really wanted to, like, bring that vision to life. Down to, like, even just Iwan's brother lent us his car so that we could drive around in this little green Morgan. And it was perfect because my bridesmaids were in green. Thank you to Sean. She sorted me out with the bridesmaid dresses. That was, it's called TH and TH Bridesmaids, and they are a stunning company. I don't know whether it's like the and the, but TH and TH. And I've seen them before anyway, but Sean introduced me. She had a contact, and they were so accommodating. I had everybody in my bridal group that was going through something, whether it be their dress size changed because they were pregnant, or they realized that their little bridesmaid who were going to be my flower girl, they completely, like, changed within a few months' time. I was sending dresses back, left, right, and center. These are the stresses that you take on. But the biggest one for me was that I had an epiphany. I woke up and I was like, I don't think I have the right dress. And I started to get, like, a little bit like, we don't want hives. But I'm a little bit panicked because I just wanted that to be, like, perfect. And I was like, Sean, like, I think I made a mistake. She was amazing. Like, God bless Sean. So she was like, I think you should come back into the shop. I think you should come back to Leamington Spa when you've got the time. And I think we should just do the whole thing again. So I was like, okay, this time, less people. This time, a beautiful bridal company called Monreal Brides, who were just like, they firstly only had the collection that I was looking at, which obviously Sean had shown me and said, you know, we could work with these guys and they're pretty beautiful and I don't think you're going to go wrong, you know, like this could be the one. And I was like, okay, I'm open to it, you know, as I was, because I had this feeling that I had the wrong dress. And Monorail Brides was only sort of launched in Australia. No UK bride had worn their designer label yet. And I was like, oh, that feels a bit special to me. I mean, I was like, if you're going to do anything, like we don't do anything by halves is what I'm trying to say. So we went with Monorail Bride. And what was so amazing is that whilst I was at the shop having the fittings, had my sisters there again and my mum, because I couldn't have done that day without them. It's such a special moment, I think, for any woman to be finding their bride, their bridesmaid dresses, but also to become a bride. Like, it's, for me, it's just one of those moments you share with your mum. And lucky enough, I had my sisters there too. So we got there, and Monorail Brides, like, company also were there. So they're like hand picking like the best of the best from the racks and just putting them on me and seeing what works. And then they're like grabbing a veil and seeing if it works with my hair. And do we want this length? And do we want it like to be all the way down to the bottom of the dress? And do you want it fitted? And then they were talking about a second dress. So I would get to change. So I would get to wear this beautiful corseted Bordeaux style dress, which, by the way, there's so many layers, I had to have it cut. Just goes on and on and on. This was a dress that Bao just kept sleeping in because I was hiding it from Iwan because I was very superstitious. I did not want him to see the dress. And I hid it in my dressing room at our old house where we used to live. And he would just sleep in the dress. Anyway, had that cut. And then they were talking to me about second dress. And I was like, what? And they were like, well, when you have your first dance, you could get married in this. You could become Mrs. Lewis in this dress. Your dad can give you away, which again was a beautiful moment. I think Dad was like trying to hold back the tears. And I was just like, I would think I was vibrating. I was so excited about that moment. And then the first dance, which was, we danced to I Can't Help Falling in Love with You. Not the Elvis version, the Casey Musgraves version, because I love my country. And she did a stunning version, and it felt like it was more like an acoustic version. And I wanted to be in a more fitted dress. I wanted to feel like a woman, and I was a wife. I was like, it was just a moment, and I thought it was perfect. And I was able to move in it and dance all night long. The day itself was so hot. Like torrential rain the day before, torrential rain post-wedding. But the 23rd of August, 2023, oh my God, I'm so glad that I bought a load of fans off the internet for like £1 each. And I was like, everyone, get your fans out. It's hot. So we had all these contingency plans. But I could not have foreseen how much I actually wanted to get out of this dress because the layers were making me sweat. I was literally like trying to take it off this halfway through. So ladylike again. Like, who am I? Come on, Faye, get it together. Gosh, I definitely was so relieved that I could change. And I had a minute, and Sean came with me. And my best friend Ross, who did my hair, God love him, they both took me away and they did the full change. We fixed my makeup a little, Ross did my hair in a whole different style just to let it down and just be a bit more free. It wasn't like too done. It was just like, let's just have some fun. Like, and I love fashion. I don't know whether anybody is aware of this, but I've always been very, very expressive through that whole love of, I don't know, just like, again, it's probably just me being like on stage and becoming other characters that I've become very passionate about fashion. And I think it is a beautiful form of expression in so many ways. And it says a lot about your personality. And I think I love that. So the dress was going to have that in it. It was going to have a little bit of Faye. It was going to have a little bit of Mrs. Lewis. And I loved my choices. They're both corseted in different ways. Like this itself was like made to measure. It's got a little bit of boning in it, but still so comfortable. Like I can breathe. We weren't going to have a day where I couldn't breathe. We don't need to do that. And then the second dress, which actually I'm sure there's a picture on the wall here. Oh yeah, it is. It's up there. You guys can't see, unless you guys can see. But it's up on the wall here, and everyone's got sparklers, and we're running down a runway. And the second dress was definitely more like a sweetheart neckline. Again, a corset. This one was like perfect. Went a little bit further down, and then the rest of the dress just fitted me like a mermaid. And I think the style of the dress was like a fishtail, like they call it that. I don't know. Again, I was learning as I went along. And again, the first dance was just, it felt so gorgeous and beautiful and magical. And I had this skirt that Montreal Bride basically put with the dress. So the dress obviously was very fitted, the second one, and it wasn't like this. I feel like a giant cupcake. And it went all the way down to the floor and had this like small train. It wasn't too big, so I could dance, and we will come to the shoes in a second, ... But they gave me this skirt that I could actually attach to myself, and then I could take it off. So for extra sort of like the wow factor, I put on this extra skirt and did the first dance with Iwan, and everybody, you know, announced us as Mr. and Mrs. Lewis, and they all just like watched us have this amazing moment together. It was so surreal. Honestly, it felt like there was no one else there. I was just like staring so deeply into Iwan's eyes, like totally got lost for a moment. I think we needed that though. Like the whole day was obviously amazing, but it was just you're sort of trying to drink it all in and savor every moment. And that was the one where I was like, I'm just going to give you me for a sec. And we did. We had that moment. And I think it was like all of 2 or 3 minutes. And then it was like party time. So I knew that I wanted to have a comfortable shoe. I'd done my research. And this is where I'm really proud of myself. It wasn't just Pinterest. It was like, I'm going to go down a deep rabbit hole. I'm going to be on Google. I'm going to ask advice from people who have previously been married. Like, what do you wear? So there was other contingency plans. Like I could have put on a trainer, but I'm not a trainer girl. Like I love my trainers, but I'm always working out. I'm always at the gym. I'm always, running around. Trainers are my thing when I'm working. And this is not work. Like this was my wedding day. So instead, I got like this really cute sort of platform trainer that had lace on it. So it looked like a wedding dress. And that was what I was going to wear the morning after, checking out the hotel, on our honeymoon, at the airport, all of that. Like I had a shoe for that. I had not thought of I just planned everything to a T. This is what I'm like. I'm like Monica from Friends. Like everything has to be like organized. Like the big file that she has. I'm sorry if you're not a Friends fan, but I really am. She has this massive file. And when she gets engaged to Chandler, she gets that. Oh, Matthew, love. She gets this massive file out and it has everything in it from like materials, like swatches to what crockery they're going to have on the dinner table and what the bridesmaids are going to wear. And I was this girl. I didn't have the book, but I had this kind of work ethic towards the wedding. So the shoes were a research that it took a lot of time. I ended up finding an American shoe company. So again, there was a slight panic about getting the shoe on time because God forbid that they sent the shoe and it didn't fit. So I had to measure my feet, like fully go down that whole rabbit hole of we got to get this right. Measure the feet, width, length, like toes, everything. Found this company called Bella Bell. Cute name. Again, probably quite country. I was probably drawn to that, but they were renowned for being the comfiest shoe. So what they do in their heel is they actually put a bit of padding in, and it's made to measure. It fits your foot. Like there is no pain, there is no blisters. There's no like, oh, get these shoes off me now. which happens. I mean, it happens to me as a dancer on stage in my shoes. It happens to me if I get a brand new pair of shoes, I wear them once and I suddenly have like the worst like pain. Anyway, these shoes came and they were stunning. Stunning. They had this sort of like sheer pointed toe. And again, they had a bit of the sparkle beads all the way around it. I'm not too much of a heel, like enough to cope with the day. And I wore them all day. And I wore them with this dress and they were the perfect height. And they were just so comfy. It wasn't until I took them off and I realized that the strap around my ankle was probably too tight, but I didn't feel it. Like I wasn't uncomfortable. Just everything was perfection. Everything was dreamy. And I just loved that day. It was just like, I think when I talk about it, I really go there. I can't help it. Like, I wish we could do the day all over again just because it was the best day of my life. These guys were amazing. The fact that they got to be a part of the day. I love that they're just like sleeping right now in the dress. But they had like their own little suit as well. My mum actually found their collars. And they had to have like a harness just because they definitely can't be wearing a collar around their neck. They're too small and precious. So they have like these harnesses. And my mum found this harness that had like a little green dicky bow. So when they would sit there, you would see that they were like kind of wearing a suit. And it was a sage green, which matched the bridesmaid. Like, you just can't beat this. We really thought of everything. Like, I kid you not, we had everyone's name written on a little card on all the tables. The flowers from Red Floral, which again, a Manchester-based company, because I just found like what I wanted and I knew that they were going to get the job done. I'd seen of too many weddings that they had done from people that I'd known, acquaintances in the industry, and they just like, so good. And I loved the whole process. Everyone says it was like, everyone sort of warned you it's going to be like the most stressful time. They say getting married, moving house, and having a baby. Okay. Well, we've not had a baby. We could, but we're not there yet. And we've definitely moved house, and that was okay. Yeah, a few stresses. And I think the only thing that really was like a red flag for the whole process of planning the wedding was just timekeeping on the day. I was like, I just want to get lost in the day. I want to be there with you. I want to be present with you. And Iwan was like, leave it with me. And he planned the whole thing meticulously. From like the moment that the car was to rock up and take me to the church, and then the time we got married, to then we getting to having the photos done with our photographer, Mark Wallace. Oh, he was a dream. And just everything. And then when we spoke with the caterers, Relish, which is a local Cotswolds catering company, and they were incredible. Like, they had a staff to take care of us, like in uniform. Like, they just did everything to perfection. And I thought, if you're going to do it right, like, and if you're going to do it once, like, don't do anything by halves. Like, we're all in. We're all or nothing. And I found the right guy to definitely spend the rest of my day with, because he shares the exact same values. Like, we weren't going to skimp on anything. It was just like, we were going to pay for the best, and we were going to have the best. And then we were going to remember that day for the rest of our lives with so much love and joy and pride that we really did do everything we possibly could to make that day unforgettable. And when I speak to everybody now, they just had the best time, and that's all I wanted. Like, I had the best time, but even better that they had the best time. And to be surrounded by all of our friends, family. Like, I hadn't even met half of Iwan's family. He hadn't even met half of my family. And we just did it on the day, and it was just easy. Like, everyone was around this bar that was sort of like in this round shape with this stunning floral centerpiece. And the bartenders were in the center of it. And so you would gather around this circular bar. And that was sort of like where everyone kind of gathered to really catch up and just have a second to like step away from the dance floor and just take in the room. Oh, it was just, yeah, I really, really loved our wedding day. I get really girly when I talk about it, but I actually don't care. Like, I am a girly girl, and who knew that I was going to be in this princess dress? But it was really, truly special, and really I'm grateful to Sean and to her, her team of people, Monreal. I have like Phoebe to thank for that as well, who I met along the way. I had this wonderful makeup artist that I actually met through my time at Coronation Street. She actually did my makeup for many, many red carpet moments, and she just knew my face. When you just meet someone, you feel comfortable. Like, that's another tip that I would definitely work with people, like be around people that are championing you, that want you to like just have like the best time, the most unforgettable day, make you feel amazing, because blink and it's over. And everyone said that. Everyone warned me. They were like, that day will fly by. And I was like, well, I'm going to drink it in. Watch me. I'm going to slow time down. Do you know what I just remembered? That I actually got too hot. And I think I got married with these little straps, these Bardo straps off my shoulder. I got married with these down. And then when it came to the food, and we were all sitting down at the tables, and we were like, the top table, I've got my mum and my dad, and we've got Ian and Chrissy, and we've got Rob and Louise. That's it. Top table. Like, they were our people. They're the ones that are like parents and adopted grandparents, and just the ones that are truly, truly special people. And I just remember like trying to like give them hugs or like trying to eat my food. And I was like, I'm a little bit restricted now. And I actually took down the sleeves, like these little tassel-y, chiffon-y, shoulder, beautiful extra material. And I shoved them into the corset. So it just was like, beautiful dress, off the shoulder, nothing's there, no restriction. Because I was like, I want to eat my food. Food was just so good. Best canapes ever. Ever. I kid you not. Like, I'm still salivating over them. What was so funny is that we arrived at the marquee before anyone else, because Iwan and I got in the Morgan. Iwan drove this car. It was like a car from Chitty Bang Bang. And stunning, like most classic little dark green Morgan. Get round the corner, get to the marquee, and they're there with like a glass of champagne, giving us the first sort of experience of the whole, next part of the day, which is the reception. And they handed us these canapes. Oh my God. Well, we had like a window to do photos, like a window. And if we missed that window, we were going to make everything late. So this is our planning. Like, this is Iwan being strategic. I've got to follow the schedule, or else someone's going to blame me and I can't take it. I can't ruin this day. So I was like, we're going to have to really quickly eat the canapes and then go and have photos done with Mark, because there was a beautiful sort of lake by the house where we had the marquee set up. And that's where we were going to have these photos done, which were beautifully taken. And we're on the front cover of OK magazine, which is very, very glamorous. I mean, I didn't think that was what we were going to do, but hey, we had an opportunity, and OK wanted to share this experience with everyone, and we took it. And I don't think I would regret that if we did it again. Like, it was a good choice for us. It was a cute idea. And the world sort of got like the exclusive pictures of our wedding, and it made it feel like a little bit more of extra. Ooh, it's in OK magazine, like all of like the people who have followed my career forever, end up then DMing or messaging or, putting it all over social media that they've seen the article and, how they felt like they were a part of the day. And that to me is quite special. So we get to the marquee and we've got this lovely glass of bubbles. And it's much needed, because it's been quite a nerve-wracking morning of like pacing, timing, and then getting down the aisle. And I'm just like, I'm so excited I could pop. I'm now Mrs. Lewis. Like, it's everything. And these canopies were so hot because they were fresh out of the oven. I was like, I can't eat them. I'm trying, and they're gorgeous and like so tasty. And we had like a little bit of everything just to tick everyone's box, because you've got, you know, the pescatarians, you've got the vegans, you've got the meat eaters, you've got like everyone that, you know, you've just got to be aware that you're making everyone happy. So cut to Mark needs us for these photos. So we're like, right, okay, quick. Scoffing these beautiful canopies, probably burning my tongue as well, as you do. Wash it down with a glass of champagne and off we pop. As we're walking to go towards this lake to have these pictures done, all of our guests arrive. So they're just slowing us down, because all we want to do is like say hi, give them a hug, like they're congratulating us. We are beaming, we are smiling, we're Mr. and Mrs. Lewis, like, yeah. I was like, this is great, guys, move. Not to be rude, but we've got a schedule. And this is me with the schedule. Like, I don't like to be late. Like, I think it's just like my pet peeve. And I think it's just this industry that I work in. Like, it's really bad if you are late. It's better if you're early. It's good that you're on time. It's blacklisted if you are late. That's like if you're late for a show, like people have paid for the ticket. Come on. It's etiquette. I'm all about etiquette. Trying to be a lady. She says, I'm telling you all the nitty gritty, and you're getting like the worst version of me. But hey, I'm giving you the real stuff. So we have these beautiful photos done. We're going to come back, say hi to everybody, sit down in this dress, and then the speeches come. And I'm like this with the dress. Just need to like air the legs. Can't find my legs. And the layers of this thing. Anyway, I just knew that I was comfortable. I felt amazing in this dress. Everybody had such wonderful things to say about, you know, the whole look of the wedding, that the aesthetic of the room. But what I loved is that it all had like this uniform. It all made sense. Iwan chose his suit. He worked with, it was is it, oh, I don't want to get this wrong. Begins with an M. I can't remember. Oh no, I can't answer that right now. Sorry. I love that my mother is trying to call me and I'm doing a podcast with you. Oh no. What was it called? This is really bad. Like Guild? I want to say McGill. Anyway, I will find this out and I will share this with you. But he went to town on, you know, like the custom fitting and had it all tailored. Loved that he wanted to keep like the green theme, because I had the girls in sage, and so he went with a really dark green, had a double-breasted suit. Like, he just, everything from his shoes to his like his jewelry that he'd picked out to go along with it. Accessories. I should call them accessories, not jewelry. And that to me was just like, that said it all. Like, he really, really cared and he wanted to get it right. And then he actually ended up getting all of his groomsmen tuxes as well. So my nephews had a tux, my brother had a tux, my dad, Rob, which is Iwan's dad, his brother, and Johnny, his best man. Like, everyone just looked like very smart. I mean, I could cry when I saw my nephews walking towards me, ready to sort of like get in the car and head to the church, and just, yeah, everything just, it was like perfect harmony. It all worked perfectly. And yeah, when they say it's the best day of your life, it really, really was. So I wanted to celebrate my anniversary with you all by coming on and doing a very, very special episode in the dress. Yes, I'm wearing my wedding dress. Sue me. I only got to wear it for like 5 hours on the day. I love that I'm wearing this for like an hour with you all. Any excuse. It's also just been my birthday, so I'm feeling like, oh, maybe I should wear this out for dinner. With like a little crown, a little tiara. She doesn't care. Everyone's going to know. No, that's Faye. Oh, there's Faye Lewis in her wedding dress. Oh, God. Anyway, what I really wanted to do is also make this a real unforgettable episode with you all, sharing a milestone for myself and Iwan. We've been doing the podcast here now for 10 episodes, and this one is going to be the final one of the series. But do not worry, have no fear. We are coming back, and we're coming back strong, because I have some really, really exciting news as I am about to embark on another new chapter, which means I might be a little tied up for a few weeks, but I will be back and I will have more guests. It's going to be even more special because I'm taking you with me whatever happens, and Not Fazed With Faye isn't going anywhere. So please stay tuned. You know where we'll be. I will keep sharing everything that is going on via my YouTube channel. So Not Fazed With Faye will still have updates and vlogs, and just even on Instagram, I'll be letting you guys know what's happening and who's going to be coming on the show. Because we are loving Not Fazed With Faye, and I'm loving the response from you all. And honestly, it means so much because these things take a lot to put together. And so I just want to say thank you again for all of your support and all of your love for the show. A huge thank you to my producer, Ben Collins, who is consistently delivering this episode every week for you all. Without him, I could not be doing this podcast. And I'm loving it. So stay tuned. For now, stay unfazed. And I will see you soon for more episodes. For now, we are saying goodbye to this series, but we will be back with a brand new season of Not Fazed With Faye. So I will see you all soon. But thank you again. Bye, guys.